So did you hear me talk about the supplies? Okay. So we're going to introduce ourselves and talk a little bit about Meadowbrook. And we just want to give you a chance to get together some supplies if you haven't already. You're going to want a bowl or cup of water to wash out your paintbrushes. You'll want a plate or some sort of receptacle to use for the paint. And we recommend also having some paper towels and scissors handy. My name is Emily Bear, and I am the wholesale manager here at Meadowbrook, which means it's my job to find all of the gourds homes throughout the U.S. in retail stores. So we sell all over the U.S. And this is Ashley. She's going to be our teacher today, and you're in for a special treat because she is the designer of most of our gourds and this very kit. So she'll be able to go through the whole kit with you. And in the meantime, I am going to work on this. If you would like to talk a little bit about Meadowbrook and who we are and how we started.
Yes, I have one quick question. Is our camera on here or in front of us?
I
just want to make sure because you look there and then I wasn't sure where to look. All right, well, hi everyone. I'm Ashley. I do a lot of the farming here at Meadowbrook, also designing, and I help Emily with some of the marketing and stuff like that. So Meadowbrook, if you guys, I'm guessing a lot of you have probably done a kit with us before, possibly. Have any of you guys not done a kit?
Me.
You okay? So we have some newbies to doing the kit. So this kit is there's a lot of little pieces for this one. So it'll be actually, I think, a lot of fun to do this one. I'm going to start with getting some of the kit out and showing you what pieces you should have, because it looks like pretty much everyone is back at their seats. So I'm gonna dump the bag out. We'll see what all we have.
No, that's yours. Mine's over here. That's all your stuff. Okay.
So everybody should have a turkey body with a turkey tail attached to it. Now this turkey tail does come off if you just slightly wiggle and move your gourd like this. You're going to want to remove your turkey tail. So we should have both of these pieces. You are also going to find a nice wooden base, a big one. You're going to have raffia. This is for very last, but just to make sure everybody has it, you can put this piece to the side for now. You're also going to have, this is actually going to be your turkey head. And the little hole here is going to be where the beak fits in. So that'll be the front of your turkey while you're looking at your turkey. Let's give everyone a minute to look at those pieces and get them out of their bag before I open the little bag. Great. Okay. You have your pieces. Into the side. Okay. So if everyone's opened that part, the next part is going to be this little bag, well, this medium-sized bag that has all the extra fun stuff in it. So I'll carefully dump this out. Put the bag to the side.
This kit has a lot of pieces.
It does have a lot of pieces. All right, so this is going to be your turkey hat for your big turkey here. The berries, we're going to set aside also. This is going to be able to go around the top of your turkey. I guess we don't have a finished sample, I'm guessing. Okay. Fine. So that can go to the side. Also is going to be, this is all your paints that you should have. And the two separate ones that are white are going to be your glue. So just make sure you don't accidentally think that that's white paint. Then we have our big brush. We have our little turkey body, our little turkey head, which again, the hole in the front is going to be the front, like your face. That's going to be where your beak goes. Now on the body, you'll see there's a hole in the back. That's going to be for a turkey tail. And I also have, you have your turkey tail too?
Turkey tail.
The grass that you had, that's going to be last, something we do last. So we again can kind of put that one more to the side. And then we're even gonna go through our super tiny little bag to kind of sort our little pieces.
I remember seeing that. There's a lot in here.
Okay. So in that little bag, you would have had your little turkey hat. So that's gonna go on your little turkey then. I had gold glue in mine. Or gold, sorry, gold paint, not gold glue. That's silly. Gold. You're going to have 2 Q-tips. These are for your glue, so that again, that's kind of for later. So I'm just going to put the glue and the Q-tips kind of in front of me for now. Then so you should have 2 felt wattles. One is super mini tiny. That's for the little guy. And then you're going to have the bigger one for your bigger turkey. You're going to have this beak, which is also for your large turkey. The seeds, I don't know if everyone got 2. I accidentally got 2. You only need 1, but that's the beak for your little turkey. And then this dowel pin that you got is to help you attach your turkey tail to your little turkey. So you will need one of those. And don't worry, I'll go over all the parts again. I just wanted to like set them out so everyone can kind of see what we have because there's a lot. And then we also have toothpicks. These will be really nice for when we're trying to do eyeballs and any little details. Okay. So that should be all of the little parts. So we can officially start painting.
Awesome. Before we start, we love to see you all crafting. So thank you so much for turning on your cameras and joining us. It makes it a much more fun experience for us. I do have you muted right now, but feel free to unmute yourself and talk to us and ask questions. That really makes it, again, a more fun class, and we are here to help you make the best turkey you possibly can. And you can even ask questions about Meadowbrook if you would like. We are happy to have conversations. So feel free to unmute yourself if you would like to talk to us.
You're also able to write in also. So if you didn't want to talk that way, if you just wanted to ask us a question by writing in, that's totally fine also. And please, if I'm going too fast, because I do this way too often, please just let me know and just be like, hey, can you slow down? Or if you need me to repeat a step or something, please feel free to ask us for that as well. That's no problem at all.
Okay, Ashley.
All right.
Where are we going to start?
Okay. So we are going to start, and I get myself some paper towels just because I know I'm going to need them. Okay. So we are going to start with our large turkey just because he's going to take longer to dry. So I'm going to start with the bottom. So just this without the tail. And when you're looking at your paints, I am going to start with you have 2 things of dark brown paint. I am going to start with one of those. And sometimes these things are, there we go.
Ashley, we do have a question.
Oh yeah.
Someone did not receive their paint, unfortunately, but her cousin has a kit there as well. Could they share the paint?
Probably. I'm trying to think.
So
I think you mostly could actually, just because there is 2 browns.
Okay.
And so what we're gonna do is this first coat, which is the most paint you're gonna use, is a brown coat mixed with streaks of gold. So you might be able to, with having both sets of brown, like it might be totally fine.
Yeah, I also really prefer when I'm painting these in the classes. I'm no professional. I come to the classes and help because it's very fun and I like to do it. but I do water down my paint. So if you took the opportunity just to water it down a little bit, it will go a little bit longer, but it will also give you a nice even coating. So that would be an option for you too. And I'm really sorry. We'll definitely email Dory after the class. She's the person that's been sending emails, and we'll make it up to you. I'm sorry about that.
Yes, very sorry about that. Another recommendation, just in case you happen to see that you're running low on some of the brown or something to not finish, is I have done turkeys. There's like a maroonish red on here also, and I have added that before as like streaks of red into it, which can also look really nice. So that's totally up to you guys, but just to throw it out there, we are going to be using a little bit of the red to mix to make an orange for the little guy, but you don't need near as much as what's in there. So in case you need to use some red, that could work also.
Great.
So, and I do agree with Emily too. You can definitely, like, I'm probably going to wet my brush before I even start to use it. So like I said, I'm going to start with the dark brown. And I didn't say it, I just was doing it, but I did open up my gold as well, just to have it open. And I will show you guys how I do. I like to add a gold streak in my turkey.
So it's okay in this phase if it's like a little streaky. You don't want globs of paint, but am I correct in that, Ashley?
Yes, that's no problem. You can see, I guess if I hold it up, mine right now with a little bit of water is going to be a little streakier. I also have to say on turkeys and animals, I kind of like a little bit of the streaks because it gives them a little bit of a textured look, and that's totally up to the individual person, but I kind of like it because it looks like a little more textured for a turkey with feathers or something.
Okay. And what about getting paint inside the leaf area? Do we want to do that, or do we want to leave that?
So it's really hard not to get any at all. So my suggestion kind of is, if you already accidentally did, you'll want to just kind of go over it lightly, but you could definitely water down your brush to get into those cracks, and that's going to last a lot longer than trying to glob paint in. But I'm going to do mine. And you really don't need much paint at all to do that.
Yeah, it kind of just absorbs right into the texture of the gourd, so you can kind of just wet your brush and put it in there.
I will tell you, this top ring up here that we're going to glue the head on, it does not matter. Like, you don't need to paint that because we're going to cover that anyways.
Ashley, can you tell us a little bit about what a gourd is? And
so a gourd, it's really, they're hard shell gourds. They are kind of like a pumpkin or squash, except for that they dry. When they dry and they're the hard shell, you guys can see they're really more like wood. So you can paint them, stain them, wood burn them, cut them, a lot like wood. And then they also last a lot like wood. You know, you have to take care of them. You can't just let them outside, or they're not going to do as well. So more part of the squash family, but a lot like wood.
And are most of you familiar with Meadowbrook gourds and what we do? Yeah. That is wonderful.
I purchased the ones made before, but this is my first class.
Oh,
cool.
Wonderful. I'm glad. Just beware, it's addicting.
I'm already signed up for the penguin.
Oh, yes.
That one will be really fun.
That one will be really fun.
This one will be fun too, but that'll be a fun winter class.
So it's fine if I'm like a lot faster. I'm not sure. I can't. You guys are kind of smaller blocks, so I can't see how far exactly you are. But what I do is, before this even dries, I'm going to put my paintbrush, and I'm not even going to wash it out or anything. I'm going to put it into the gold. Okay. And I'm going to make some gold streaks. Now, at first, you might have a lot of gold. So I'm going to kind of turn this and go around and add gold. And then I'm going to go back and once most of it's off my brush, hard to tell if you guys can see, I'm going to blend it in a little bit. Now you guys can kind of decide how thick you want your gold streaks or how much, because you can either blend them back in, you can add more brown, or if you love the gold streaks and you want really thick ones, you can just keep adding more gold to your project.
Oh, I see how if you do like short strokes, it kind of gives it a feathered look. That's really neat. It's like you might be good at this designing thing.
And if your brown was drying too much that your streaks aren't blending, you can always wet your brush a little bit and kind of help blend the paint back in together.
How many crafters do you have making gourds on site?
That is a very good question. So we are a team of 18. And we have on any given day 3 crafters that are actually cutting the gourds.
Yes.
And then we have a team of 4 beauticians or finishers, which is about 3 people. Yes. And then we also have 2 painters, so that are painting and spraying all of the gourds, dyeing them.
Yep. And then we have 2 to 3 people who are in our washroom who take the gourds right, which we call them raw gourds, right out of our storage, which still have skin on the outside. The gourds that you guys have been pressure washed and are completely clean, but the gourds that we have stored still have skin on the outside, so they have to wash them. And there's about 3 people that do that, and then we also wash all of the insides to clean them out as well.
So at Meadowbrook, we grow all of our gourds here on our 200-acre farm that we have. Ashley actually is apprenticing right now to be our farmer. Yeah. So she will be taking over the farming of all of the gourds. And so it goes from many, many hands. So we plant them in the spring. They'll grow all summer, and Ashley just got done cutting them all off the vine, and they'll stick out and harden all winter long. And then in March?
February, well, it's really as soon as the ground dries out enough that we can get equipment in. So sometimes that can be early February, and sometimes it's not till later March that we'll start picking the gourds out of the field with our tractors and everything, and then bringing them up to the buildings and sorting them.
So we actually do all of that by hand. And then throughout that process, each design goes through almost everyone here's hands to get produced and made and out to decorate your homes. So it's all hands on deck here. We're a small team, but mighty, and we all do a little bit of everything. And how is everyone doing on their painting? Are you feeling good about it? Do you have any questions or concerns?
So I think I'm gonna let mine dry now, but if you guys can kind of see some of the shimmery gold in mine,
That's really nice.
That's what I'm gonna let that dry. And I am going to rinse out my brush. But anyone that's still painting, feel free to keep painting. We'll wait a little bit before we go to the next step.
Right. I am not.
What is the proper way to take care of our gourds that we have? I mean, storage and.
Yeah. So gourds are a lot like wood. So as long as when you're storing them, you keep them in a dry place, they can last over 100 years. So keep them dry and keep them out of sunlight if you don't want them to fade. Just like if you put like a stained wooden bench in a bright window, the stain is going to fade over time. That can happen to your gourds as well. For your crafted gourds, you are painting them here today. You do have the option. It's not provided here. We're not going to be doing it, but you can put a polyacrylic coating over them to seal them. you know, just to add a sheen and to protect them a little bit more. But as long as you store them in a place that's nice and dry, they will last indefinitely, forever. Is that right?
Yeah.
So, we're looking like people are still painting. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then, Ashley, do you want to tell them a little bit about? I know you had mentioned a little bit about what you do, but a little bit about how you design our gourds. Maybe what your favorite thing to design is.
I'm trying to think. It's a very tricky question just because designing, I feel like your mind is always like on the next. So like something we might have out now that like I love might have been designed like a year ago. So you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like I don't know. I have to say, okay, I'll actually show you guys something new.
That's perfect.
So my dad and I have been working on, this is new. These aren't out. They're just in our store. Like we've only made like maybe 10 or 15. But my dad and I have been working on like shelf sitters. So these guys have like fun little legs and that can be moved, and their arms, and there's much smaller ones. But so I can't really say what's my favorite just because I'm always on to the next. But this is what we're working on right now just for fun, and I think they're kind of whimsical and fun, I think.
Yeah, I think they're really cute.
Just something different.
That's what we've been working on. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are very, very busy here at the farm gearing up for we have a Black Friday sale here if you're local, and we also have a Cyber Monday sale on our website. And everything is up to 40% off on the website, and it's 25% off everything in our store during those sales. So we are busy crafting the last bits of winter to make sure that we don't run out. So and Ashley's been working on designing new designs that will release specifically for that sale. We have some pretty cool things.
We have about 5 or 6, possibly up to 8 new designs that will be releasing each day of our sale. So that's really exciting. That's a lot of fun to do.
Yeah. So she stays
really
very busy.
Okay. All right. Well, I think I'm going to start on the next step. But if you're still painting, that's fine. And like I said, please, if you need me to repeat a step, I have no problem doing that. So our big turkey is drying for right now.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How did you do the gold again? Because mine is coming out in solid streaks instead of like fading.
Okay. So what I would recommend is it is going to come out in solid at first. And then I would go back and I would maybe wet your brush a little bit, and I would add a little bit of brown and then go back over your gold with that to kind of blend it in.
Your paint might have dried a little fast. I had a little bit of that problem too, but that's all I did is I just made sure my brush was pretty wet, dipped it in a little bit of brown and a little bit of gold, and I think it turned out pretty nice.
Yeah, it did.
Oh yeah.
Right now, it's still really.
But yeah, so please too let me know if that helped. I can't see exactly who asked that question, but hopefully that was helping you. Okay, so the next thing we're going to move to for now is we're going to paint the little turkey body. So, and like I said, I did wash out my brush in between the big turkey body and this one. So what we're gonna do is I actually just went and opened up the rest of my paints just because we're going to be using a lot more of them now. So you guys, I'll lift this up so you can see. What we have to do for the little turkey body is we're going to mix just a little bit of the dark red and a little bit of this orange together to help make more of a burnt orange or a darker orange. Now it's totally up to you guys what the shade is. I'll show you what shade I'm going to mix mine to, but if you guys love the bright orange, you can keep it, or if you want your turkey to be brown and golden, just like the big turkey, that's totally fine too, just to give you some other options of painting. But what I'm gonna do is put maybe half of my brush in to the red. And this is where a plate is nice. And put it on your plate. And then I'm going to dip the same half into the orange. And then I'm gonna just kind of mix it on my plate, see what color I'm getting. And it kind of starts to make like, personally, I like a little bit of a richer orange instead of such a bright orange.
So like a burnt.
Yeah, like a burnt orange. So, and what you want to keep doing is keep adding red and keep adding orange until you have enough, the right color and enough that you think you can do your turkey.
And do you have an idea of how much that might be?
It really won't take much. It really won't take a lot of paint at all, just because it's such a small piece. I mean, maybe you guys noticed too, I really didn't use that much paint whenever I did the big turkey. And it won't hurt if you have to mix the color a couple of times. It's not going to hurt if, like, your colors will apparently add streaks, just like we did with the gold too. Mm-hmm. So you can kind of give them.
Okay, so I have about, it's a little bit thicker in different areas, but about that much of I'm decided to do more of like a rusty reddish color for my turkey.
I'm still mixing a little bit to find mine. I think I just did. Yeah, so this is, it's hard to see. Might be hard just because of our lights being on it. If you to be a little brighter, you can. You could even make them brown. And then what you want to be careful on is you don't want to have too much paint when you go over this pumpkin, just because the cuts are so tiny that you will kind of glob your paint in there. You could use the toothpicks if you do glob them, but I would try to get some of that paint off your brush on your plate before you go over that pumpkin. And you want to go really light over the pumpkin, not to.
Would you suggest that we go light over the whole thing and do a second coat, or do you not?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. It's much easier to paint than the bigger piece.
Yeah. And even I was careful and I got a little bit of paint in the corners of my pumpkin. So what I'm going to do is use maybe the corner of my brush to kind of dig the paint to the bottom, because I did get a little bit. And we do.
I put it on my finger and blew into it, and that removed it also.
Oh, there you go. Do whatever works for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to use a toothpick. I did get a little bit as well.
Yeah. And really, if you drag it to the bottom too, you're not going to notice so much compared to it being right in the middle of the pumpkin. So, but no matter how careful you are, it can be tricky, because I thought I was being careful.
And if you make any mistakes, you can of course use a paper towel, but as you're crafting gourds, especially if you get addicted to it like some people do, baby wipes are awesome at removing any mistakes that you have as well. So they're really great to have in your little crafting supplies.
So the other thing I might do, just like for mine, which again, you guys don't have to, I think I'm going to take just a hair of the brown and put it in kind of like we did the gold, just to tie it back to the bigger turkey a little bit. Okay. You will want to put way less on your big brush than you did for the gold streaks. Just to warn you. Just because it's such a smaller piece. So you want your little streaks to be a lot smaller.
And the same as for the body of the large turkey, you don't have to do the top, right? It doesn't matter if it gets messy, because we're going to cover that.
I don't know if you guys can see, but I've had it a little.
Hello? Are you doing both pieces of the small one? Painting both pieces? The head and the body?
No. No, we're gonna I'm going to leave both turkey heads natural, so I'm not going to actually paint them other than the eyeballs. Um but that is totally up to you guys if you decide that you want your turkey to be completely orange or completely brown, or if you want the head to be gold, that's totally fine. I'm just gonna personally leave mine natural.
Okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay, so my little turkey, I have just a couple little streaks, which I think, yeah, you can see lightly on there. So I'm going to set him down, and I'm going to wash out my brush again. Okay.
Actually, correctly put a paper towel.
Yeah. Okay, so
It looks like people are cleaning, so I think we can move on to the next step.
okay. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna glue a couple things together, just because the glue does take a while for stuff to dry. So you're going to want one of your glue pods. And one of your Q-tips. And I would use a decent amount of glue, I think, for this, because we have 2 glue pods. But you're going to want to get the glue onto your Q-tip, and you're going to basically kind of just like brush it on. It doesn't have to be crazy neat. You don't want it just like falling down the side of your gourd, but you don't have to make this part look wonderful.
So this is Aleene's super tacky glue. You can buy it at Michael's, and we use it a lot for our crafting as well. But it does dry clear. So if there is a little bit of mistake here and there, you should not be able to see it.
So just to show you like how much I have on mine. And then the head, like I said, this little hole is the front. So we're going to place, you want to center that hole right across, right in the center of the leaf that's on the cutout. So I like to center like the top of this with that little hole there. Okay. I'll give everyone a second to try to do that.
Glue gives you a little bit of opportunity to adjust.
Yeah,
so
it does.
you can adjust too.
Okay. So the next thing I'm going to glue is we're going to glue the beak into the head. So you're going to want to get glue on here. This one's going to be a little tricky, but I'll show you. You can wipe it off. So you're just going to put a little bit of glue into that hole. And obviously it's going to be a little messy. So I just kind of wipe that off then. And then this big beak, you're going to want to wiggle it into place.
It'll be a little bit of a tight.
It's a little bit of a tight fit, but not bad. And just again, make sure you're looking at your gourd and it's the head's facing the way you want it to.
Your beak's as straight as you want it.
Yes.
I think the really cool thing about working with gourds is that no 2 gourds are the same. So we have the same kit here, but our turkeys are going to be a little different in shape and size, depending on how wide a certain gourd is or whatever. But also if you place the head on at like an angle or like looking off to the side, you can really make it a different piece. So you certainly have, it's your turkey. You can have all the freedom you want in making it look however you want.
The next thing we're gonna do, am I going too fast or for anyone? I just want to make sure. Okay, it seems good. Okay, I just want to make sure I don't want to go too fast. Okay, so right under this beak, we're going to put a little bit of glue. Have some kind of seed. And this is for the large wattle here. So that fits nice and snug right up underneath. And like Emily said earlier, this glue does dry clear. So if you don't wipe all of it away, like any extra, that's okay. Like you'll see, I have just a wee little bit of extra right underneath mine, but I'm not gonna worry about it.
As long as it's not like giant globs,
Yes.
it should be fine.
Okay, and I don't know about you guys.
Can you show the camera where you put the wattle on his face? Is it alongside or is it right under the?
It's right underneath the beak. So if you can see where the beak's at, it goes right up and touches the top of underneath the beak.
Thank you.
A little bit closer too.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
My messy glue that will dry nice and clear, and you will never know I did messy glue.
All right. So now I'm going to take the little turkey and we are going to glue the head on just like we did with the big turkey. And again, the little hole in the front in the center is the beak. So you want to center that over your pumpkin. And again, you're going to put the glue onto the body of your turkey.
Okay, another question. Is the head the open side up or the closed side on the little head?
The closed side is up. So that's where we're going to glue the hat to.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That is a very good question.
That's a good question.
So we, of course, for a living, we craft gourds here, but gourds are also used to make instruments and, canteens for water and serving utensils, all sorts of really neat things. And if you do get the bug of enjoying crafting, we do have kits on our website beyond the classes that you can do. We have a Create Your Own here at the farm, where if you're local, you can come and have a large selection of different items that you can create for the holidays, and our crafters are here to help you through the process. So you get to actually dye and paint them and accessorize them however you would like, and that's really neat. We have signups for that on our website right now. We also, beyond the kits online, we also offer just the standard raw gourds so that you can make them anything that you would like to make them if you have the ability to cut or wood burn or whatever that you'd like to do there as well.
I have another question.
Yeah.
On the big turkey, should the solid side be up also?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry, I'm so used to doing it that I should have explained that. But that is a very good question. We get that a lot.
And if they did do it wrong, do you have any? It should still
it should be tacky enough that you can take it off. Yeah.
I just pulled it off. It's
all good. I'm so sorry about that. No, very good question. Yes. So the next thing we are going to do is glue our hats on.
Ooh, I'm ahead of the game then because I already have glue on the top.
Yeah, you're great.
So I would suggest, if you guys can see the little cut part of the top of your turkey, I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of glob that whole top area with glue.
So it's just, it should be pretty.
Yeah, medium. Don't have to be, it doesn't have to be too crazy. You guys will know, that's one nice thing about doing it yourself is if something falls apart, you'll know how to glue it and just need a little bit more the next time. Worst case.
Can we see how much glue I think?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you guys can, sorry, it just looks, it might just look white in the light,
Okay.
but I did it all over the top. Now your hat does have a back. So where you guys have a seam, that's going to be the back of the hat. So you kind of want to center that opposite of your nose and have it in the back. And then you just want to push your hat down a little and that should be enough. Keep that on there for now. Okay. So the little guy, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to just load the top of his head up with glue.
So many pieces I was losing.
And this hat does not have a back seam or anything, so it won't matter which way you put it on. I will tell you, since these hats are wooden, if your turkey head has a little bit of a slant and you put too much glue, your hat might slide off a little bit, which is fine. It's just that you're going to want to watch it for the next like 5 minutes every now and then. Just check him, make sure his hat's still standing on. We've had a lot of hats sometimes just slip off, and it will glue that way if we don't catch it, but otherwise it shouldn't be a problem. So we are also going to glue in his nose, well, his beak and his wattle right now also. So same thing, you're going to put glue right in the hole. And again, mine is totally messy. I'm just going to wipe that off. I just want to make sure that you actually do have some glue into that hole. Now the beaks, you're going to want to put, so your beak is actually a gourd seed. So there is a narrower part of your beak. That narrow part is what's going to go into the hole until there's a tight fit. So hopefully that makes sense. Please let me know if it doesn't.
I can go up closer in.
Closer and show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And then you're going to do the exact same thing for your super tiny wattle, except for before anyone does anything, I'm going to recommend mine. If you twist your cotton swab in the glue a little, you'll get like a little bit of like an extra piece that comes off that way, like a little pointy piece. I'm going to recommend trying to get something tiny like that to just tap the head of your gourd underneath the beak that way, and just lightly tap it. That way you're not getting a whole glob of glue because this guy is so much smaller. Mm-hmm. And the wattle, the narrower part of the wattle, I think you can kind of see there might be like a flatter part. That's what's going to go underneath your beak.
You can.
Ashley, is your family the owners of Meadowbrook Gourd then?
Yes. Yeah, my parents actually started Meadowbrook.
So Ashley has been crafting boards since she was a little tiny child, and actually she's one of the owners now.
Yes. Yeah, and actually Meadowbrook, I'm trying to think of the year. I think it started technically a year after I was born, right? Mm-hmm. 95. So mm-hmm. It's like almost as I've grown up with it my whole life, so I actually don't know anything different. So, but yeah, so I've been working with my dad since I was really, really little, watching him craft boards.
The one thing that's really special about Meadowbrook, and I'm actually Ashley's sister-in-law, so
yes, we are related,
is that there is so much family that works here, and so many people who have worked here for so many years that they might as well be family. So it's a very close-knit group of people that are crafting all of these boards.
That's amazing. So we have a Moravian bookstore in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and that's where I first saw the Meadowbrook gourds, and it was a Halloween one with a skeleton face, and I own that now.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, that's so fun. Yeah, that's great.
And now you get to make your own, which is super fun.
Yeah. No, that's great.
I know a lot of people that come to our Zooms come to many of them, and you'll see Dory and I and Amber teaches classes. But Dory kind of comes to a lot of the classes because they're so fun. But every so often she lets me come to them in her place, which I'm always so excited when I get that opportunity. But if you come to our classes regularly, Dory does say hi.
All right. So we are going to glue the tail. Well, actually, I'm going to show you guys something first, just in case you want to do it to both tails. So I'm going to show you guys, and then you guys can decide whether, so with the tails, you can either leave them natural like they are, or a brush that you have, you're going to actually want your brush to be pretty, it doesn't have to be dry, but you don't want it put into water. Like I've really dried mine out on a paper towel. But I'm gonna get just a little bit of the brown and kind of wash it out of my, not wash it, but like get a little bit of it off of my brush on the plate. And very lightly, I might need a little back. Very lightly. So what I'm trying to do is be light enough that it doesn't do all of the cracks on the gourd, but it just kind of brings out, if you see the inside of the gourd has a lot of texture on it, and you can add a little bit of color by coloring just the top of that textured part. I'll see if I can hold this up. But if you do it light enough, you're kind of just brushing very lightly on top of that. So if you guys like that look, you guys can start painting that if you'd like. Like I said, if you get a ton, if you really water down your brush and get a lot of paint, you won't quite get it just on the top layer of the textured. You're gonna end up doing kind of what we did with the cutouts. So you just want to be a little careful and have a drier brush.
Do we do this on our turkeys that we make?
No, well, we do this style. Our turkeys that we make are actually torched.
They're torched.
So we do it in a much faster way than painting, but painting you can get the same look.
And because she mentioned torches, I will say that these gourds are adorable, and we do light them because they are luminaries, but they are flammable. So
yes, gourds are exactly like wood, so you can't have them anywhere near candles, anywhere near open flames or heat, because they're just like wood. So you do have to be careful, and you only would want to use lights that we either provide or battery operated tea lights.
They're also a fun chew toy for dogs, so keep them out of their way. One of my snowmen got annihilated.
oh, no.
Oh my goodness.
You are not the first person that I've heard that from, so they must be an attraction to some dogs. But many times I am sending out replacement parts for ears or something from a board because a poor puppy decided it looked really fun.
Would you recommend doing the edge of the tail?
I was just debating that myself. So personally, I'll show you what I'm going to do. I think I'm not going to do mine solid. I think because I have so much paint off my brush, I think I'm going to do like very light like this, if that makes sense. Kind of like what I'm doing to the whole inside.
Doing really quick
But-
little brush search.
Yeah, hold on, let me see if I can show you. So this is what my inside looks like now. And then the top is just very similar. Like it's just very quick little marks. But it's up to you if you want your sides to be solid or you don't want to touch your sides of the tail. You don't have to. And if you do get any paint on the back, it would be easily washable if you got some water on your paper towel, like if you've got a little bit on the edge that you want to remove, or baby wipes would remove it for you. And then it's totally up to you guys. If you want to do that to the little tail, you can. I'm not going to, just because the tail is so tiny and it's actually going to sit inside of the other turkey, that I'm not going to do that part, but I just wanted to show you guys first in case you did.
That looks really neat.
So I'm going to show you guys a while how to glue your turkey tails into your gourd, because I think the turkey's still drying a little bit. He's getting there. But I think we're gonna glue our.
So just be a little careful with him.
So this is the little one. It's gonna be the same thing. You're just gonna put glue into the hole in the back of your gourd, and I would wipe it clean. And this dowel pin, you're gonna kind of wiggle in, but you're not gonna want to put it in the whole way. You're gonna want to leave a little bit of it out.
Can you show us how much you left out?
Yes, I'm gonna see. I'm testing. Okay, so you definitely at least want to leave this much out. If not, it could also be easier, actually, if you didn't glue it already, to maybe glue the dowel pin onto the turkey tail first. And by doing that, what I would do is I would add, so on the inside of your tail, which is the textured part, I would add a little extra glue that you're not going to wipe off around the hole. And then you also want glue in the hole to put on. But I think if you didn't already, I would maybe do the dowel pin to the tail first and then put it on the gourd. But this still worked for me just as well. And like I said, the smooth part of the tail is the back of the tail.
All right, and if you do it that way, just wipe off the glue from
Yep,
the dowel.
just like, yep.
Yeah, it seems like it's not going to go in there because it's a snug fit, but she is right. If you wiggle it, it goes in pretty smoothly.
Okay. So the big turkey, which again, please be careful if my heads on my turkeys are actually drying pretty well, but just please be careful because if they come off, you're going to want to re-add your glue at this point just because they've been sitting for long enough. But to glue in the big turkey tail, you are going to want to put glue, I would recommend, the whole way down the dowel, which is the wooden part that sticks out of the turkey tail. And then I'm also going to add extra glue right along this, just in case if any of your gourd does touch there, it's just nice to have that extra glue to hold it in place. Not everyone's will necessarily touch just because the turkey tails are curved a little, but just in case. And you're not going to see that there's glue there, even if they don't touch. And then this is going to be the same kind of fit. You're going to just gently wiggle that in. And then you're just going to want to make sure it is, and this actually is a little bit of a looser fit, at least mine's a little looser. So just make sure you put it in and then have your tail sitting the way you'd like it. Mine had a little bit of wiggle room.
and easy.
All right. So the next thing we're gonna do is actually add the eyeballs onto our turkey. So I think I'm gonna do the little turkey first. And I think I'm actually, so I don't know if everyone, oh, is there a question?
For just a few minutes to catch up.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Yeah,
Of
we can
course.
absolutely give you a few minutes. There's quite a few steps to this class.
Yeah, there's a
so
lot of steps.
we don't want to rush it or anything, but we always like to chat with you guys a little bit too. So that gives us an opportunity.
Gourds do you guys like make and paint in a year? Not gourds, but like figures.
So we have over 300 products and we
Yes.
make a year at least 100 of each.
Oh, for sure.
How many would you say?
I'm trying to think of what we do a week. I don't know. I mean, we do over, it's over 1,000.
That's a week.
Yeah, for sure. I would think. I don't know. That's a very good question, but I can't tell you like a definite answer off the top of my head. But with having over 250 to 300 products in our catalog, we do usually make over 100, at least 100 of each, and then some of those more than 100 in a year. So it's a lot of boards.
So we're working on one particular project right now.
Yeah.
But when our crafters will make this product, they will do 100 to 250 at a time?
To 200
or 200 at a time.
Mm-hmm. And we do craft boards all year long. So like there isn't really an off season. So like right now we have about maybe a week or two of winter left. And then probably by December 1st, we're going to be starting Easter already. And then the very beginning of next year, while we're making Easter, we'll be starting fall at the same time. So we're doing this all year. It's not that we just make winter in winter time and fall during the fall season. So,
it's a little funny when you work here. The seasons can get a little
messed
up for you.
Yeah, because we're not usually doing the season that we're in. So like it'll be Easter, but everything at our place will be fall. So it's different.
But that is a very good question. And yeah. The interesting thing too is that when Ashley's father Ben started the business, there was less than 5 products in the original catalog?
Probably. Or around 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely grown throughout the years. Yeah. And a lot of those original people are still here. Yeah. Still here and crafting and working in different parts of the business.
I work with a Siberian Husky rescue. I would love to see a Husky pup come out.
That is a tricky one because they have so many beautiful markings. But I'll have to think about that one.
Yeah, if you have ideas,
they're very beautiful dogs. But yeah, there's a lot to go into this.
I'd vote for the gnome. Those are popular now.
The gnomes, yeah. Yeah, we've actually heard that a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It would be really neat.
They are very popular.
I second that, Karen.
There you go, Ashley. Get to working on a gnome for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yes, and recently, so we have all season designs for farm animals and dogs and cats, and then we have our spring bunnies and ducks, fall and winter. And in the last few years, we also released a coastal line, so that are all coastal themed boards. And so everyone can contribute ideas. Ashley just does the most of them, and we explore them and see what comes of it. But it doesn't seem to ever run out of ideas. There's so much you can do with boards.
Yeah, there is a lot. Yeah.
How are you all looking for time? Are you feeling better? Did we slow down enough for you?
Yep, we're ready now.
We're ready? Okay. Okay, next we're gonna do the eyeballs. Now, I find it much easier to put the eyes on once we already did the beak and everything, but I do that just because it's easier to center the eyeballs on. So I'm going to use one of my toothpicks and I'm going to put the end of it in black paint. Now, this is something, again, if you guys mess up and don't like your eyes, just wipe them off right away with like a wet paper towel or a baby wipe. Baby wipes do a little bit of a better job. But I can put my eyes on and then show you guys where I place them.
And are you just dabbing with the toothpick, or are you using it
I'm
like a mini
dabbing
brush?
and then just very lightly making a circle. Okay, so I kind of put them right above the beak. If that helps you guys. Now, personally, I like to go back, which I'm going to show you guys, but just so you know, I'm going to let these eyes dry, and I'm going to go back over and add like a little white dot to them, but I need them to dry completely before I do that. So I'll give you guys a little bit to play with your turkey eyes before we move on to the big one.
Now we only use paints for our classes just because dyes can be really messy, but a lot of people that craft with gourds love to dye gourds because then you get to see all of the beautiful patina of the outer shell through, and it makes it look like a natural product. If that is something that you are interested in, we do have our dyes on our website as well, and they're super easy to work with. And if you ever got a kid or wanted to craft more gourds, that's certainly a direction that you could go as well.
And also with dyed gourds, because we're painting, we don't have to spray the gourds with a finish, but if you do stain or dye any gourds, you would have to put a finishing coat on it to seal the stain into the gourd. That way it's not going to rub off onto your hands or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Also, when you're crafting gourds, we are using craft paint right now, but you can use any paint that you would use on wood. We have heard of people using house paint, acrylic oil. It doesn't matter. You can essentially, the gourds will take to it really well. So you can use whatever you have lying around your house for crafting with them.
Yeah. Okay. So I am going to show you guys. So if you liked the toothpick, you can use the toothpick again for the big eyes. I'm going to go a little bit of a different route, and I'm going to see what it's like to use the bottom part of the paintbrush that we had, the large paintbrush. So I would dip it in your paint, but if you have a plate or something, your first dot is going to be huge. I would recommend practicing. So the first dot is really big, and then the more you use it, the less paint you have on your brush. So like the smaller your circle will get. So I'd kind of use it and see what size eye you might like before you put it on. Okay. And once you know, you can put your eyes on. And you can also, mine turned out to be pretty round, and I kind of went with a smaller eye. But if you wanted a bigger eye, you could go back over them. Just add more paint to your brush and go back over, or you could do a little bit of the circle motion to try to get some more roundness, more of a circle, or make your eye a little bigger. I'll just hold this up here just for placement.
Now, when we are doing, 100, say, turkeys with these eyes, is this the type of method that our board beauticians would use as they're accessorizing the previous eye? Or
Yeah.
do they have a cool tool that they use?
No, that we do have, well, we do have paint, we have paint markers, which some use depending on the gourd, but a lot of us will just either use the back of a paintbrush or a Q-tip to do that.
That's a nice even eye.
So I'm going to close. The only paint at this point that we need to use is the cream or the white paint. So I'm just going to close all the rest of my paints a while you guys are finishing doing that.
Lindsay, did the paint work out for you okay? Awesome, thank you. Are any of you local and coming to our Create Your Own in December? Good, we'll be happy to see you there. It's always a really, really fun time.
Is it snowing at anybody else's place? It's snowing here. Snowing and sleeting.
We're having
Knowing in Kempton.
first snow of the year.
Yep,
Kind of, I think, surprised us a little bit today.
it did, because yesterday it said rain. And then last night it was like, I think my husband looked, he's like, are we really supposed to get like a half an inch of snow tomorrow? I was like, no. And it came, well, not a half inch, but it's like raining and snowing together.
Now, the big question is, you've been out picking gourds for the past few weeks. Did you get it completed before the snow?
Yes, all except for maybe an hour worth. Fine.
Yeah. So almost made it for the snow.
We have, not that you guys would, I mean, you can guess, but we have what we call banana gourds, and they literally look like green bananas, and they're gourds, and that I have, they grow really close together and they're really tiny. So I have about an hour of that left.
When we say picking gourds, Ashley goes out and one by one cuts them from the vine.
Yep, we use clippers. If anyone's ever gone to like a pumpkin patch, gourds grow the same. They have a stem on a vine, and you have to cut all of the stems off the vine and line them up into rows. So that's what I do in the fall.
And Ashley is also due to have a baby girl in January. And so she goes out every night and picks these gourds because she is awesome and is a champion.
Yeah. So I'm not going to tell you guys to do this yet. I'm going to see how my eyes on the little turkey, I think, still look wet. I want to see how wet they are before anyone else actually attempts theirs. Okay. So I'm going to use the toothpick, and very lightly I'm going to just add a little dot of the white to the, I'll show you guys in 1 second. So I just add a wee little dot of white. Oh, can you actually see that? Sorry, it's hard for me to tell.
Yeah, if you put your hand behind it too, it'll kind of help focus it. Yeah.
Okay. Does that help?
It does. Yeah.
Okay, so all I did was put a little dot of white on the black paint. And a little trick for eyes is I do try to put the dot in the same spot on both eyes.
At so about 2 o'clock, right? On a clock.
Yeah. So that your turkey looks like they're kind of looking in the same direction. And then my big turkey's eyes are actually pretty dry. So I'm actually going to do the same thing to the big turkey. And if your guys' aren't dry, that's totally fine. It's just that mine happen to be.
Would you use a toothpick for that too, even though the eyes are bigger?
Yes.
And what happens if they try to put on the eyes and it's still wet?
It's going to bleed into the black, and you're going to have to let it dry and then add a little bit more black paint to fix it and let that dry before you can add your white again.
I would say it looks pretty safe. I kind of globbed the paint on my bigger turkey by accident. It doesn't look bad, but it went on really, really well.
Okay. So I think with the next part, I'm gonna show you guys a couple options. So this part's a little tricky. You're going to need to get out your green grass. Actually, sorry, I got one step ahead of myself. So in your raffia, you're going to want to untie the knot.
Okay.
And I'm going to take just 2 strands of raffia out and the rest nicely together if possible. Raffia can get quite messy. So also what I'm going to have you guys do is we're going to tie the raffia onto your little turkey, but I want to make sure everybody's little turkey is mostly dry. So I'm going to test my turkey by putting my hands on both sides and just trying to wiggle it lightly. Mine does not move. If anybody's wiggles at all, yours should dry some more before you do the step. So mine's dry. So I'm basically going to just put the raffia around, and then you just tie a knot in the front, a double knot.
So you wiggle it down if your turkey tail is a little tight.
Yep, wiggle it down if your turkey tail's a little tight. You don't want to catch your wattle. If you catch your wattle, just pull it out a little bit before you make your second, before you actually tie your knot. Again, I catch my wattle just a little bit, but give everyone a second. When you're finished, all you have to do is cut the raffia, and then you can kind of trim it to whatever size you want. This is the size that mine looks like. For sharing.
So you can cut it short as long as you want. Okay. Perfect. Now you can't see my globs of glue.
It's up to you. I have mine tied in the front. Emily has hers tied to the side. So that's totally up to you, whichever way you want to tie your raffia. Okay. So before we start the next part, I just kind of want to show you what direction we're going on, just because this part can be a hair tricky. So this guy is going to sit on here, but this little guy I think is, sorry, super cute sitting on the inside, but he does not fit through the leaf. So do not glue this board on before this guy is glued to the center of your wood biscuit base. Now I will warn you now, in case anyone loves them separate, you're more than welcome to glue your big guy on here and kind of let him sitting out to the side, or you could do whatever you wanted with him. But if you guys want to do a nest, I'm going to put glue on the bottom and glue him right in the center. And you can even test your turkey over top just to make sure you have it sitting where you want it before you glue it. So you're going to do the same thing with your Q-tip, and you do have an extra Q-tip, so if your Q-tip got kind of dry and gross while we were in between stuff, you can use your other Q-tip.
So we're gluing down the little guy first.
Yes, into the center.
And because this glue doesn't set right away, we can move him around a little bit. Once.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, you're going to be able to move him. Okay. Like I said, I'm just testing. Make sure, like, you just want to test with your base because all the bases are natural wooden products, so they're going to all have a different shape. So just make sure you like the way everything is sitting because you have a lot of wiggle room right now while everything's not dry to kind of move it and center it the way you like.
Yeah, figure out what the front of your wood piece is. And
so, yeah. Okay, so I have another option for you guys. This grass, which I'll show you. So this grass is going to go around. We're going to eventually, not yet, so don't do anything yet, but we're going to eventually put glue around here and stick grass all around the outside of this. There is plenty of grass here that if you guys would want to put a little bit of glue around this turkey and kind of, I'm just going to show you what it could look like. So this grass has loose pieces. There's the pieces that, and maybe get yours out just so I can make sure. But I feel like there's the pieces that are smaller and loose, and then there's the thicker pieces. I'd keep the thicker pieces to put around the outside of your turkey. And these thinner pieces, I would put glue around this turkey and just sprinkle them a little bit. You kind of almost need it to be, when you do it, if you decide to do it, kind of close to the turkey and a clean edge, because we're going to have to put glue around here, and this guy needs to be touching the wood to be glued nicely. He can't kind of be sitting on the moss, if that all makes sense. But that just gives that guy a little bit of green moss. This is just to show you. I don't know if you can quite see in there or not, but that is an option. If you want the little guy to be kind of sitting in a nest, you can do that. I'm going to do that.
Yeah. We can't see you anymore.
okay. Is that for can everyone not see us, or what are you seeing?
No, I can see you. I think she might have to go up into the right-hand corner to view and hit speaker. Speaker will always show who's talking then.
I did that.
Are you seeing someone else's screen, or are you seeing a black screen?
We're seeing one of the people sitting there.
Nicole, we're seeing Nicole's screen.
That's the full screen.
One moment.
Maybe I'll go gallery.
I have myself spotlighted here.
Maybe I should hit gallery.
Sure, you can go ahead and try it if you'd like. Is anyone else having this problem?
Okay, now, which one is she?
There you are. Okay, we got you back.
We got you.
Okay.
Click on it.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Okay, so anyways, you guys, I think we did go ahead and glue your turkey to the center of your base. And now I'm going to add glue right around just the bottom of the base. And I'm just making like a thin layer. Almost like you're painting it on.
And again, this is optional, right? We don't
Yes,
have to.
this is optional. It's whatever you guys kind of prefer. And if you can see, I'm not going super far out around the turkey just because, like I said, you want this guy to, his glue to actually be touching the wood and not just green moss. So once I do that glue, I'm just going to kind of sprinkle the very little pieces of loose moss around.
And also like break it up with your fingers a little, your hands a little bit.
Yes. And then where you do have glue, you are gonna wanna push that moss down. And then I'm kind of just gonna wipe away the extra green grass. So now he looks like he is sitting in a little nest. Give everyone a second to do that.
Okay. We have the whole gallery of everybody there, but no one picture. We cannot see the instructors at all. You're there, you're a picture of it, but that's it. We don't know what you're doing. You're not big. You're not the screen.
Okay.
If you click on their picture, there should be like 3 little dots, I think, and you could pick to pin them.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I have myself pinned for everyone. I'm gonna try something
there
here
we
to
go.
see if this
Okay.
helps you.
Yeah, we got it.
Thank you. Can you go back and talk about the grass again? Sorry.
Yeah, so once you glue your turkey into the center of the wood, you're going to just add a ring of glue, almost like painting it on around the turkey. And then you're going to take the loose pieces of your moss and put it around that turkey and kind of push it down. So I'll try to put this close just so you can see around how far. And like I said, you're not putting this out very far. It's just right around. Oh, I'm unfocused. There we go. Sorry, guys. Oh, and he's not fully dry. Okay. Okay. So.
For this, I just tested mine a little bit by placing my turkey over top, and I realized I didn't take it out near far enough. So I'm adding it back in. If you do that same thing and your moss is sticking to your glue, that is not the end of the world, because it will dry clear and you will not be able to tell that it's like that. So it might look like a little bit of a mess at the moment, but as it dries, it will be totally fine.
And yeah, and it's definitely a good idea once you add the moss to just test your big turkey over top. Make sure, like Emily said, she wanted to add more moss. So just make sure you guys are testing it and seeing what you like, since we don't have everything all glued together yet.
Every gourd's a little different. So
yes, they're all going to fit differently. Some of the gourds might be a little wider, so you might want more moss. Some might be pretty narrow, so you might not be able to get a lot of moss in there. So that's
another fun fact. These we call them wood biscuit bases. These we actually make those here on the farm as well. And correct me if I'm wrong, Ashley, but a lot of the wood is actually from our farm.
not anymore.
Not anymore. Oh,
No.
okay. It was. It went.
No. Yes, it probably started that way, but now it's the local wood, and we cut it up ourselves and cut down the trees ourselves usually most of the time. But yes, not anymore, just from the farm. We use enough of them now that we can't.
We wouldn't have any limbs left.
Oh,
Okay. You look okay?
So yeah, no, yours looks really good. The next thing, this is going to be just like what we did with the little one, but we're going to use the rest of our raffia to tie.
Henry?
Yeah. Is there a question? No, might have just been on. Okay, so we're gonna use the raffia to tie around our turkey. And again, some of you might have to wiggle it around your turkey tail. I have a lot of space between my turkey tail and the turkey head, but you're just again tying a knot in the front. This one's useful. This isn't.
Oh boy, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, and you make tying this look so fast and easy, but
I've only done it
when you don't do it every day, it's a little bit tricky. It's still not a very hard job. I think that is one of the most fun things for me working here. When I get to talk to, like if you message us on Facebook or call us, there's a really good chance that I am going to be the person that you're talking to. And I love that part of my job, but I love going back and seeing how easy all of the crafters make this look.
Oh yeah.
And when you try it, I come from a fine art and design background, and I'm like, I could totally do that. It is harder than you think, and they make it look so easy. If you're ever in the area, if you're not local, we do tours every Tuesday at 2 p.m. They're free. It's about 45 minutes, and it's really cool to see all of the steps and how they do it all. So,
yeah, that is.
Come visit us and go on a tour.
The next thing we're gonna do is, so you have these fun little colorful wire berries. So you're going to untwist them so that you have one big long one, and you do actually want the colors twisted together. Mine happen to already be pretty much twisted together, so I guess yours is too, but if some of them aren't, this wire is very easy just to take and kind of twist a little bit to keep all your berries together. I would recommend doing that. I love all the colors. They're pretty. So once you have that out, this is going to go on your hat. So you're going to want to twist the wire in the back. So I'm going to just put this right over top, and I'm going to twist the berries. I'll show you guys from this angle. Just kind of take them and twist them. The wire will hold them together, and you just need a couple of twists. And you're going to have some extra. I just kind of bring it back around. Since it's wire, you can kind of fold it down depending on how it's sitting, just to add some really nice color to your little hat. And anyone that does have any kind of like wire cutters at home, you cannot, I definitely don't recommend cutting this with scissors if you want the extra cut off, but wire cutters would be fine to cut the extra off. And if you don't have them, I think it looks just fine to kind of bend the extra back into your hat. So that's what I'm gonna do. But
I am finding if you just kind of tuck it in, if it's kind of, mine was a little bit long.
Oh yeah, you don't even notice. If you tuck it in, you don't even notice. So okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is finally glue our big turkey onto the wood base. Okay, so you just, again, you're gonna dig your glue out, and I'm going to put the glue on the bottom of the turkey. And you're pretty much just painting it on just like you did the head. And again, it's totally okay if your glue is a little messy. It's not going to matter for this part. And then you're going to want to center it. And really make sure you have it centered and the little turkey inside is looking exactly the way you want it to look. The last thing that we have to do is add some glue. So this is again where I just want to give you guys the option. So if you like the way it looks now, you can be finished. Or there's a lot of extra moss, which I'm going to glue around the bottom outside of my base. So I'm going to take the glue and just kind of paint it on again. Maybe use a little bit more glue than you might have used on the center. Just because the moss that you're going to glue on is kind of clumped. At least mine is clumped together a little bit thicker. So I feel like maybe I'll want more glue. But I'm going to go the whole way around.
Is it okay if we get it on the darker part of the
Yes, it won't matter.
Okay.
Yeah. And my turkey tail actually sits so far back that I can't necessarily go the whole way to the back, but I'm just gonna go right up to the turkey tail, maybe skip a little bit, like skip the back section and then start the side section again. So if anyone else this is like that, I think it's still gonna look great. Because that's the back of the gourd anyways. And if you get a little bit, I got a little bit on my gourd, you can either try to wipe that off or you can put so much moss that it's not going to matter. And then I'm going to take clumps and stick them into the crease. And you do want to push them into the crease. Just be careful though, because your turkey's not going to be dry. So you don't want to push so hard that you're sliding your turkey around a little bit. But you definitely want to push them down onto that glue.
Thing I love about this moss is there's no rhyme or reason to it. So sometimes the more just random you are with it, the nicer it looks. So you can't really mess it up.
So, and you might have extra moss. I definitely do. I probably put it back in my little bag. But this is what my finished piece looks like. Again, this particular gourd does not light. And there's no real way to add a battery operated tea light or anything. But so this one doesn't light, and gourds are flammable, so keep it away from any candles, keep it away from anything hot. But I think sometimes it's really nice just to have the pieces that don't light because they fit really nicely on shelving that you can't necessarily get a light to. So wonderful. And just to warn you guys, my tail's feeling pretty good, but those turkey tails are the hardest things to glue. So definitely let it sit. Don't have your turkey tail up against anything for a little while, at least another maybe 20 minutes or so. And if your turkey tail does happen to be loose, after 20 or 30 minutes, or like you notice it tomorrow, you can just wiggle the turkey tail back out and add more glue if you need to. But I think they turned out really cute.
Yeah. How are you feeling? Do you think you made successful turkeys? We'd love to see them if you don't mind sharing. Oh, super cute.
Yay. They do look really good.
Oh, I like that one. Has a lot of gold in it. I like
it does.
Oh, very nice. Oh, so fun. So if you enjoyed this Zoom class, we will be posting some more Zoom classes available in November. So We'll post them on Facebook and on our email newsletter and on our website. So you can find out information at any of those places for those. Like I said, we have our Create Your Own coming up here soon. And our Cyber Monday sale, we will have kits on sale, I believe, right?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some kits will be available if you like to craft those, and of course our regular quartz as well. Does anyone have any questions or about this project or anything in general?
As I said, we got all
Thank you. This was very nice.
good. I'm glad. Thanks
Wow.
for joining us.
Thanks, Kim. Great.
Okay. Now,
Well, thank you all so much for your time tonight. Thank
Thank
you
you,
for spending
guys.
your evening with us. If you have any questions after this, feel free to email. The email that has been emailing you is Dory. And either Dory or myself will answer any questions that you have. You can also reach out to us on Facebook. That's a great way to reach us. We're happy to answer any questions that you have in regards to after. And Lindsay, we will reach out to you tomorrow about your part paint. Sorry about that. Thank you so much. Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
bye. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
You guys
Thanksgiving to you
too.
too.
Thank you.
Is this your bag?
No, it's yours.